Thank you for coming today. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. My name is Kiara Page, and I'll be your counselor. I just want to let you know that I am a mandated reporter. So if you say anything that causes immediate harm to yourself or anyone around you, I have to report it. But other than that, anything else you say in this room is client privilege between me and you. Is that okay with you?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
All right. So we can start on your intake. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Can I have your first and last name?
Aaliyah McCoy,
All right. And what is your date of birth?
10/01, 1994.
Thank you. And what is your age?
26.
Okay. And Miss McCoy, are you single, divorced, or cohabited?
I am single.
Single. Okay. So when was the last time you were in a relationship?
I'm currently in one still.
Okay. How long
The
have you?
longest I think I've been without one was like 2 years.
2 years. Okay. So how is the one that you're with now? How's that going for you?
Um, it has its ups and downs,
Hmm.
but for the most part, um, I really, really, really am appreciative of the relationship for him. I value him as a person. Because we could have easily, stopped things for some of the things that, you know, was said and done or things like that. But due to both of us being strong, we both worked it out and we're still here. Like I said, we have our ups and downs like any relationship, but we're still here and I value him as a person in the relationship.
Good, good. So would you say that maybe this is like probably one of the best relationships you've had?
I would say it's the best um emotional connection relationship I've had, if that makes sense. I don't know if I said it right,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the best one I've had emotionally with a person that I can connect to.
Oh, that's good. So, like emotionally, like, wow, that's good. I never heard anyone say it before. Like they connected with somebody emotionally, like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, do
And
you
it's strange. It's strange because never felt emotionally connected to someone. So that's why I said like this is the best one that's emotionally connected.
find? Okay. So, like, do you find it easy for you guys to like express like concerns and stuff that you guys are having in your relationship?
Yes. And that's why I think it makes it so much better because it's like we don't have to argue when we say, "Hey, I don't like what you did. I don't like what you did." Sometimes that's in a relationship. If you express your concerns of what's going on,
Mhm.
it might offend your partner, and then an argument happens. With the relationship I'm in now, I'm actually glad that we can sit down and talk to each other without an argument happening and listen to what's bothering one another.
Right. So it sounds like you guys have good communication skills, so that's good too. Okay.
That is, it's a plus.
So in your relationships, are you like dominant or do you like being submissive?
In my relationships, I like to be submissive, very submissive.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. So when you think of submissive, what do you think of exactly? Like
When I
in a
think of
relationship?
submissive, so like, what do I think of?
Yeah.
Um, when I think of submissive, I think of catering to all of your boyfriend or husband's needs.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of submissive, so I cater to all of his needs and what he needs
Mm-hmm.
and what he wants, like his desires, whatever he desires.
Okay. That's good. All right. Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I do have siblings.
Okay. Do any of them live with you?
No,
Okay.
none of us live together.
All right. So how many siblings do you have in all?
It's funny. I have a breakdown on my mom's side. I was the only child,
Mm-hmm.
and on my dad's side, I have two brothers and one sister.
Okay. So are you the oldest, youngest, or
I'm the youngest actually.
okay. What is the highest level of education that you completed?
I have a high school diploma
Hmm.
and I have some years of college, but I have not completed my degree yet.
Okay. So do you plan on going to school, like a college or anything?
Yes, I plan on going back to school. Hopefully next year in August for the
Okay.
fall.
So what were you in school for?
I was in school for nursing.
Okay. So what made you choose the path of nursing?
What made me choose the path in nursing was I enjoy the medical field and I also enjoy being a caregiver.
Hmm.
It's just a natural thing with me. I love being a caregiver. Even when someone's sick in my family or
Hmm.
when my friend's sick, I'm always normally the first person everybody calls because they say I give that touch, that feeling. And I just feel like when somebody's in a time of need, to always be there for them. So that's what drew me to be a nurse, want to be a nurse. When somebody's in need of help, you be there for them and help them the best way you can.
Okay, that's good. You sound like just listening to you like say that, like you really sound like a great person, like, with a big heart, that's great. So
Thank you.
with that being said, also, do you feel like I said, you sound like somebody with a big heart and stuff. So do you feel like people can take advantage of that?
Yes. Yes. I'm actually glad you said that. Yes, quite often I feel that way. I do.
So how would you react in some situations, like if you feel like somebody is taking advantage of you being the type of person that you are?
You said how would I react?
Hmm.
Um, it's funny sometimes depending on how the person treats me.
Hmm.
Um, First it hurts a lot because it's just like, wow, why would you do that? Because
Right.
I would never do you like that.
Hmm.
And then I kind of shut down. I shut down and just kind of not say nothing, which is a bad thing I need to work on. I just shut down because I just feel like you kind of knew better to do that. So I
Hmm.
just feel like, why even explain it? Because you knew better. Because I've never done anything to portray you, never would, and you do me like that.
Hmm.
And then it also sometimes depending on how close the person is to me, I won't shut down because I don't want to ruin our relationship or whatever we have, friendship or anything. I kind of say like, hey, why did you do that? And then if I feel like they're not telling the truth, I shut down
Hmm.
and I just kind of back off.
Okay, cool. Have you ever been in the military before?
No,
Okay. Are you currently receiving any psychiatric services or professional counseling or psychotherapy?
I have received counseling.
Okay. So how does counseling help you?
Counseling helps me a lot because the counselor doesn't tell your secrets. The counselor doesn't cut you off when you're talking to them. You can tell the counselor anything. And what I love about a counselor is if you're going through depression, the counselor's not gonna judge you for going through depression. Nowadays in this time, um, especially I don't want to say, but especially like in some communities, um, the black community, I'm gonna just say that they don't take depression serious.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't mention anything to them about it, or they shut you down and say, "No, it's the devil. Stop that. It's the devil. It's not your mind. You're just thinking that." The
Hmm.
counselor doesn't do that. The counselor actually listens and talks to you about it.
So you feel like you can freely express yourself in counseling without being judged.
Yes, that is exactly how I feel.
Okay.
Thank you.
So do you have and I agree with you like with you saying like black people kind of don't take depression serious. Like they believe like basically like pray it off instead of actually getting help to heal.
Hmm.
Like have you ever went through that before? Like someone
Yes.
just actually told you to pray it off and don't worry about counseling.
Yes, and I have an example too, if you would like for me to tell
Yeah.
my example. Um, it was right after my mom died, 3 days after she died. Um, it was hard on me because I was her only child,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody was expecting my mom to die, although she was sick. She was getting better. No one expected this, so my whole life just changed.
Mm-hmm.
So it was 3 days after she died, and I had to figure out what am I going to do with my life. You know what I'm saying? And I was depressed as my mom was sick, but when she died, it got worse. And I mentioned like, yeah, I'm depressed. Like I have to go back to counseling. I have to do something because I hadn't been to counseling so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had a family member tell me that. They actually told me that black people don't get depressed. They tell me my age doesn't get depressed, and they tell me that it was the devil, and that the devil was just getting to my mind, and that I was faking it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was told that I was faking,
So,
depression.
so when you were told that, like, how did that make you feel emotionally and like just mentally?
That made me feel very, very angry.
Mm-hmm.
And until this day, the person that said that, I just think a lot of things about them. Like, you're very judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, how dare you say someone is faking depression?
Mm-hmm.
But this person will get on social media and support someone else who says, oh, pray for this person, they're depressed, this and this. And they'll get on there and actually make a comment saying, oh, depression is so real. I'm praying for y'all. But yet someone in your family, like I did, say something, boom, you say we're faking it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a hypocrite, that's how I look at that person, like a hypocrite.
So, do you feel like your counselor supported you more than your family did during this time? Or
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say all my family,
Mhm.
but intermediate, the ones, how am I trying to say, like the ones who should have been supporting me of that didn't support me, and I felt like the counselor did more. The counselor felt like my personal best friend during that time.
Okay, cool. So, did the counselor, well, let me not say that. So, are you like currently prescribed like any medication, like to help you like with the depression or anything like that when you were depressed?
No, I actually chose not to be. I told them that I'm not a type to take meds. I don't like taking meds. So I told them when we started, I don't want to be on any type of medication. I strictly wanted to speak with someone, and they fulfilled my wishes well.
Okay. So, and you like, do you feel like a sense of relief like once you leave your counselor's office? Like, I really got this off my chest. Like, I needed to do that type of thing.
Yes, I do feel relief because the older I get, I'm finding out that if you hold that in and the longer you be depressed and not mention anything, that it will affect you really bad. And I had to see that for myself. And I had to really come to grips that it's okay to talk to someone. I had to learn that my counselor actually helped me learn that you're gonna go through some things in life that's gonna make you, you know, come to that.
Hmm.
And that's what I had to see for
Oh,
myself.
okay. So, have you ever attended like a group counseling or just was it like individual counseling?
Individual, they did offer me group counseling through the hospice program my mom was with, but I decided not to go with that one, so I did
Uh-huh.
individual.
Okay. Okay. So, is your counselor is she a woman or is it a he?
It's a woman.
Okay. So, do you feel like you can relate to her as to why you feel like you can open up more, or was she just like you just felt like you just had the support from her?
I felt like I had the support from her. I was very comfortable with her.
Hmm. Okay, that's good. Um, do you currently have a primary doctor?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And what's your doctor's name?
Dr. Johnson.
Okay. Have you been seeing Dr. Johnson like mostly all your life or anything?
No, just started like this year seeing Dr. Johnson. I did have a doctor I saw like majority of my life, but after a certain age, we don't go to her no more.
Okay. When was the last time you had a physical?
August. I think about the August.
So since the pandemic happened, has it affected you like in any way?
Um, it just it kind of affects your mind with me,
Hmm.
especially because my job turned to work from home. And the loss of my mom, I just kept thinking about her being in the house more. We had to quarantine, everybody had to shut down. So it just really made me think of my life, just things I've been through and how far I've came. So it just really just that way of my mind, just thinking about things. But no, it didn't affect. I'm thankful it didn't affect me like where some people are losing everything, some people are contracting it. So
That's good. Do you currently use alcohol?
no,
Okay, that's good. Do you currently use tobacco?
no.
Let's see. Do you have troubles with like any of your sleeping habits?
Yes, I have insomnia.
Okay. So is that when you sleep too little or
Sleep
does
too little.
it?
We get like no rest, and you're normally not going to sleep until during the day.
Mhm. Oh, wow. So how many hours of sleep do you get if you can think about it?
Ooh, that's a good question because I go to sleep on an average day. I can go to sleep anywhere between 11 to 12 at night, and I'm going to get up by 6. If I'm just real exhausted, I can go to sleep at 9. So I get anywhere from on a regular day 5 to 6 hours.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So like, does that affect you? Like when you get like 5 or 6 hours, like, cause you know how like sometimes the less sleep you get, the more energetic you may feel, or like, how does that work for you?
Um, for me, sometimes it makes me feel real sluggish because it's like my mind is going, but my body ain't going.
Hmm.
And it's just like they're not in tune. And then I get cranky, and then I have to take like coffee or or like an energy drink to make it through the day.
Hmm. Okay. How many times per week do you exercise, or even if you exercise?
I don't exercise at all. I'm sad. I used to, but I don't exercise. I need to, but I don't.
Right. I think we all can use a little bit of it.
Especially during this pandemic, I'm like, wee, my waistline.
Do you have any problems or difficulties with like your appetite or your eating habits?
No, I can eat, boy.
Have you experienced any weight loss or any significant weight loss or weight gain this year?
Yes, weight gain.
Okay. And you said you don't use alcohol, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you said you don't use tobacco products, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So have you had any suicidal thoughts recently?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Have you ever had them in the past before?
Actually, I did when I was 13.
Hmm.
And then I got myself out of that, and then when my mom passed, I had a moment. I had a moment.
Okay. So when you had your mommy, like, did you get yourself out of that funk, or like did someone help you through that stage?
I actually got myself out of it with the support of two cousins.
Mhm.
I am going to say that those support of two cousins I did.
So, because I've never heard someone say that they got themselves out of it. How did that work for you? Like, what did you do to like just snap back into reality, I guess?
Um, I was raised in church my whole life. So what I did was when I started feeling like that, I said, "This is not me." I said, I don't know who this person is. I really didn't know who this person was. It wasn't me. And I just started praying one night. I said, Jesus, this is not me. I said, I don't know who this person is. I was real sad, just going through a lot. I actually, when I was 13, I went through it because I kind of got bullied a lot, so it just was a lot going on with that. And then when my mom had passed, my world just stopped, like just flipped. And I remember my mama before she died, 2 days before she died, because she couldn't talk. And actually that day she was talking, so I knew something was strange. I just remember what she told me. She told me that she did not want me to cry. She did not want me to be sad. She wanted me to get on my feet and continue to live life. And she said, live life. That's all she said. She kept saying, live your life. She was like, do not get stuck in a funk. And as I was praying, she was in my head, and I just kept thinking about that. And each day, I just would take it slowly. If I didn't want to be bothered, then I would just like come to my home. My family, they would call and check on me, but they had no clue. They had no clue. Except my 2 cousins. They were the only ones. And because we tell each other everything. And they were texting me and calling me, and they would say, I know you're having a moment, just call me when you're ready. And I would call them when I got ready, and each day I would take it slowly with prayer and meditation. Meditation is great. I've learned that with prayer and meditation, I got out of it.
Wow. So how long do you meditate, I guess?
It depends. If I'm having a very, very, very rough day, I'm gonna meditate for at least 4 hours, just to myself. Listen to my favorite music, praying, burning candles, um, burning sage sometimes. Sage works a lot too. Um, burning sage, watching my favorite movie or my favorite TV show, just to myself. It's kind of like I just block the world out. And then if it's just like a normal day where I just feel like I need to take a break, a breather, I meditate for 1 to 2 hours.
So what type of music do you listen to when you meditate?
When I meditate, that's so good. I listen to a lot of different songs. I listen to songs where I can relate to the lyrics or anything. One of my favorite songs when I meditate is by Eminem. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the rapper, but it's called "Sing for the Moment." And for some strange reason, every word of that song I can relate to. So I just sit there and listen to that, and it just kind of put me in a happy place.
Okay, that's good. That's really good. And you said you were in a relationship. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your relationship?
The one I'm in now or the one before?
The one you're in now.
From 1 to 10, I would say it's an 8. The reason I say it's an 8 is because sometimes, not going to tell no story, it can be me. Sometimes I just feel like I can be inconsiderate of the stuff that he's doing for his future. And it's like working so many jobs. I had to understand that, hey, he's finishing school. You know, he's working these jobs to make sure he can survive. And sometimes I had to sit back and go, just stop and compromise.
Okay, so I'm glad that you are able to admit that it was you, but like, was it you that discovered, like, dang, I'm being inconsiderate, or was it like, did he approach you or say anything to you about it first before you realized it?
He actually said something to me one day. And it kind of made me pause and like I kind of thought about the stuff I was doing or saying, and I was like, "Whoa, it kind of is me." And I would go back and look at the text, and I'm like, "Now, why did you say that?" You know, I'm like, "Why did you do that? Like, don't do that."
Okay. Well, that's good. Like, you can recognize, like, when it's your fault instead of like placing blame like solely on him. Like, you taking accountability for what you're doing in a relationship. So that's very good too.
Thank you.
In the last year, have you experienced any significant life change or stressors?
You said in the last year, so
Mhm.
like
So
from
this year,
2019, or you said this year?
or you can go back to 2019 as well.
Yes. I have experienced a lot, whole lot. Just thankful that I'm still able to keep my mind, because a lot of things I've endured just in the past year, I could have easily lost my mind.
Mhm.
I was close, but I got it back together. So yes, I have.
Okay, that's good. All right, so these questions I'm going to ask you, you can just answer yes or no to. It's just asking you, have you ever experienced any of the following?
Okay.
All right. So have you ever experienced extreme depressed moods,
Yes.
dramatic mood swings,
Yes.
rapid speech,
Yes.
extreme anxiety,
Yes.
panic attacks?
Yes.
Do you have any phobias?
No, not really.
Okay. Sleep disturbances?
By disturbance, you mean like a dream or something?
Yeah, I guess like anything that can like affect your sleeping.
No,
Hallucinations,
no,
unexplained loss of time,
no,
unexplained memory lapses,
no,
alcohol, substance abuse,
no,
frequent body complaints,
no.
eating disorders.
Um, like a disorder. You said like any disorders?
Hmm.
No,
Okay. Any body image problems,
no.
repetitive thoughts,
Repetitive thoughts.
hmm like
Like
obsessions with something or something like that. Like you
no,
just processing over. Repetitive behaviors,
no.
homicidal thoughts.
Homicidal.
Hmm.
Like a long time ago. So recently, no,
Okay. And suicide attempts.
no, never attempted.
Okay. Cool. All right. So now I'm just going to ask you some questions about your employment. Are you currently employed?
Yes,
All right. And what is your current position?
I'm a call center customer service representative at a call center. I said this so backwards. Sorry.
So customer service rep. And what's the name of your employer?
Alorca.
Okay. So what do you do at Alorica? Exactly like with the customer service rep.
I answer calls from agents actually from all over Blue Cross the states. And deal with claims, benefits, um, and answer their questions on why the claim paid, why denied, and take care of their needs.
So is that, do you find that job kind of easy to do, or is it like something that you gotta learn as you go?
Learn as you go is very stressful.
Are you currently happy with your current position?
No, ma'am.
What's something you don't like about it?
I don't like the fact that it is very stressful, and I don't like the management of it because if we ask for questions, they won't answer it or act like we should know this information. And it's a lot to learn. You learn something new every week because Blue Cross might change something.
Mhm.
And I also don't like that you can tell the customer why, I mean, the agent why the claim denied and they argue you down.
Mhm. Yes. So do you have like any work stressors or anything that's just stress you out while you're working?
Yes.
So like what are some of the stressors that stress you out?
The calls about claims. Or if I ask my manager a question and she said there and don't respond to me and then respond to me when I'm off the call.
Mhm.
And I just be like, I know you saw that message.
So do you have like your clients, like when you explaining stuff to them, like are they always yelling at you? Like just because they feel like they're right and you're wrong or something like that?
Yes, every day.
And so when you're talking to the clients, are you talking to like the providers or are you actually talking to like the customers, like someone like myself that'll call in?
I actually speak to another agent that's like me on the line I'm on now, which this line is very weird from the previous line I was on. So I'm speaking to someone that's calling from the customer service part on that Blue Cross is in, if that makes sense. So say for instance, for example, if you're in California, you're working for Blue Cross Blue Shield of California's agency, whoever they're using. And I'm down here working for this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're calling me and I have to call the provider that that member went to, if that makes sense.
So they call you and you call the provider.
Provider. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so are y'all on three-way doing this?
No, this is a weird line. They're actually the line if you have Blue Cross that has the little suitcase on it.
Uh-huh.
It's for the people that travel a lot,
Mm-hmm.
like business people that travel all the time. So that's the line I'm on actually. So, but I'm based out of the New Jersey one.
Mm-hmm.
So I only call the provider when they're our provider, if it makes sense. If it's a Blue Cross Blue Shield provider that's in network, if they're out of network, I can't call them. Then
Mm-hmm.
the agent I have to call them. So the agent calls in, say for instance, this is an out of network provider. Then I have to speak to the agent, and then we have to figure out why they claim didn't pay.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the provider, if that member went to a provider that was in network, then I can call the provider and say, hey, is this true? I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at this. Can you see, is this right? And then he'll go, yeah, or he'll be like, oh, I made a mistake. I did a typo. Boom.
Oh, so you only talk to the provider if they're in network. But if it's out of
Yes,
network, you have nothing to do with it at all.
correct. Then the agent will have to call them. It's kind of confusing, kind of like stressful. Woo.
That seems like a lot.
It is like some days it's sad because you don't even really know if they're in network because sometimes it won't show. Yeah, it's a lot. And you won't know they're in network. It's a funny story. You won't know they're in network or out of network until you call them and then they go, this is not even our member. We never saw the member. And you're like, oh, great.
Wow. Like that sound like that has a lot on you, like mentally. Like how do you handle that mentally?
Mentally, oh my goodness, it's like screaming on the inside,
Mm.
but you look like you're just perfect on the outside. And every day I get off, I feel it on my body. I am drained. It's like I have no energy in me. It's like they just suck everything out of me.
Oh wow. So do you do like self-care for yourself so that it won't be like such a burnout for you?
Yes, I do. I try to do my self care. During the week, I try to do it at least 2 days out the week, and then on the weekend, I make sure Saturday and Sunday, especially Friday as well, I get the self care.
Okay, that's good. Do you consider yourself to be religious?
I am. That's a good question. Um, I'm religious, but I'm not one of them Bible beaters. If you ever call, have you ever heard of Bible beaters?
Hmm.
I love me some Jesus, and I believe in me some Jesus, but I'm not the type of people that's like, you're a Catholic, I can't talk to you. I
Right.
only talk to, Baptist people.
I get you. I get you. So, what do you consider your faith like? Are you like Christian, Muslim? Like, how would you say that?
That's a good question because it's you're probably gonna like laugh at what I'm gonna say, but I was born and grew up baptized in this Baptist church,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like the older I get now, I'm kind of non-denominational. I just want to hear the word and a good word, and we all know or talk about Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
The Jesus I know, the man that I've been raised on, who died for all our sins, who was on the cross. I was born and raised in Baptist church, but I feel like inside non-denominational, I feel like I love Jesus. I know what Jesus has done for me. And why can't we just all come together instead of being denominational, like it was like back in the day, how I grew up in the church.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, do you consider yourself to be spiritual as well?
Spiritual. By spiritual, can you give me like something?
I guess you could like, oh my God, there's so many ways you could define spiritual. I guess like maybe I don't know.
Like kind of like real holy all the time. Okay, real holy all the time. I wouldn't say that I'm spiritual, but if I need to do a testimony in the need of time, where say we're having a conversation, we're talking about how good God has been and what God has done, then yeah, then I talk about it. But far as being holy, like, oh my gosh, don't do that because it's in the Bible. Don't do that because it's in the Bible. Don't do this because it's in the Bible. No.
Okay. So now I'm gonna ask you some questions about your family mental health history. You could just answer yes or no again.
Okay.
Has anyone in your family experienced depression,
Yes.
bipolar disorder,
No.
anxiety disorder,
Yes.
panic attacks,
No.
schizophrenia,
No.
alcohol substance abuse,
No.
any eating disorders,
No.
learning disorders,
Yes. Some of them do.
okay, any trauma history,
Yes. Some of them do.
suicide attempts,
No.
and chronic illness.
Yes.
Okay. So the last set of questions I'm going to ask you is pertaining to you again. What do you consider to be your strengths?
Hmm. Oh, you got me with that one. Um, I think my strengths I consider to be I don't have a word for it, but I say my strength is regardless of what I'm going through in my life or what I'm going through in a day, I can really feel like I'm about to just break down crying. No one will ever see it because I'm gonna always put that smile on my face and do what I can for others and do what I can for myself. So you basically never know what's going like I never take what I'm going through out on other people.
Okay, so sounds like you can say basically like your strength is like being positive, I guess, like your positivity.
Yes, that's a good word for it. Thank you.
What do you like most about yourself?
What I like most about myself is my heart. My heart is very great, even though sometimes it shouldn't be towards people.
What are effective coping strategies that you learned?
Effective coping strategies.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer number one. Just off top. Um, Number two is getting to yourself if you need to, and just have complete peace and quiet
Mm-hmm.
to just tune out from the world if you need to for like a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
And meditation.
So out of those three, what would you say is the most effective for you?
The most effective for me. Oh, all three of them are, but really praying.
Mm. Okay. And what are your goals for therapy?
My goal for therapy is I want to find peace and understanding in the grievance of my mother. I want to find peace in knowing that you'll have things that come and flip your life, but how to cope with them to get you through life and understand that sometimes you ain't gonna have a good day. It's just not. It really is not gonna be good. And to just be happy and smile again. Just to be whole again.
Oh, that's really good.
Thank
That's,
you.
that's really a good one. The last one, just to be held again. Yeah. So like when you say just to be whole again, like do you feel like you're broken now? Like
I feel like it's a big void in my life
Mhm.
because what a lot of people didn't know was, unless they knew me, was my granddad had passed 8 months prior to us finding out my mom had cancer, and he had died from cancer as well. And then a year later, my mom was dead, and I was close to both of them. So I feel like it's just a void in my life. Like it's like a void of why. pretty much like, why?
Mhm.
I know we're not supposed to question God, but I did. I was just like, why? And a lot of times I sit here and I just have one in my life where I'm just like, why do I feel like this? Why am I empty in my heart? Sometimes I just feel like I have a big heart, but it's not whole. I feel like that's missing. A part of it is missing. I feel like a part of it is missing because it's in heaven. Because that's where they're at, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm working on a lot now. And I'm proud of myself for the past year when I've really been just working on myself. I'm very proud of myself because it's coming back. It's like I'm coming back to myself.
I'm really proud of you. Like just hearing all this stuff, like you really have a lot of strength and it takes a lot of strength to get through what you're going through. So like I'm honestly like just really proud of you. Like seriously.
Thank you. It's definitely not easy. It's not, but like I said, prayer is that number one thing that you just asked me about. Prayer. It definitely is. And like I said, just learn like, hey, every day ain't gonna be a good day. And when they happen, just get to yourself.
Alright. Well, do you have any questions for me or anything?
No, I don't. I don't.
All right, so that ends our intake session. I do want to thank you for coming in today to talk to me. I will do a follow up with you just to see how things are going and to schedule another session for you. Okay, is that okay?
Yes, ma'am, it is, and thank you for having me.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.